This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Well, it happened. As I warned, as everybody knew, Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed as Donald Trump's third Supreme Court pick in his illegitimate term as president. We're going to get into a little bit of that. But first I want to start by saying that if you feel anything like I feel right now, take some time. Take care of yourself. Reach out to a friend. Find a shoulder to lean on. These are tough times. And if you love your country, and if you're passionate about issues that affect others, not just yourself, then you're likely in a state of distress. It is justifiable to feel out of control. Like things have gone wrong. We have taken a right turn, veering into oncoming traffic with Donald Trump and Republican rule. It's okay to not feel great about it. But I would ask you to rally, hang in there for another month. In 7 or 8 days, we're likely going to know who will be the next president of the United States. And there's going to be a fight. We need every able body. If you can withstand the rigors of the fight for the next foreseeable future, stay in it. It's important. I'm going to refer to a bunch of notes here because I really don't have it in me with everything that's going on to memorize statistics. And, I try not to refer to notes, but this is no good. So after confirming by a 52-48 vote, Mitch McConnell adjourned the United States Senate until after the election. I think the 9th of November. They took 30 days to jam through Amy Coney Barrett. 30 days. And it's been 215, 216, almost 220 days, almost a year since the last coronavirus stimulus package, giving relief to people, likely many of you who are out there day to day struggling financially. 30 days for what is the priority? F*** you, American people. That's the message from Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. The policy objectives and the motivation of the Republican Party is power. Plain and simple. And regression to a certain degree. Over 200 days since the last stimulus package, and they're going to go on break. But they were able to jam through Amy Coney Barrett in 30 days. Like I said, the vote was 52-48. One Republican holdout, and it wasn't Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, who voted to convict and remove Donald Trump as president, doesn't believe he's fit to serve, believes he's committed crimes, high crimes and misdemeanors to the level that he should be removed from office, but still voted for his Supreme Court nominee. Try to make that one make sense. They cannot be trusted. And Susan Collins, who voted against Amy Coney Barrett, but voted for Brett Kavanaugh, it's incongruent. It doesn't make sense. It's all political. It's all for power. This is an illegitimate process. These are illegitimate Supreme Court picks. Let me explain why. First of all, 15 of the last 19 Supreme Court justices have been named by Republicans. 15 of the last 19. And Republicans have only won the popular vote to get themselves into the White House one time in over 30 years. What does that mean? It means that we have a Supreme Court picked by people who weren't picked by the American people. It is fundamentally anti-democratic. Not undemocratic, anti-democratic. Donald Trump got 3 picks. He got Gorsuch, he got Bart O'Kavanaugh, the boofer extraordinaire, and now Amy Coney Barrett. Donald Trump lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton by almost 3 million votes. 1 million, coincidentally, for every Supreme Court pick that he got to ram through. 2,865,075 votes, to be exact. Anti-democratic. The 48 senators, to give you some numbers here, some perspective, the 48 senators who voted against confirming Amy Coney Barrett represent 13.5 million more votes, more voters, more people than the 52 senators who voted for her. 13.5 million. That's all of Idaho. That's all of Montana. That's several Wyomings. That's all of North Dakota. That's all of South Dakota. All of Utah. Hundreds of thousands of square miles of the United States, where very few people live. Wyoming has the same number of senators, 2, as California, where I live. And California has like almost 70 times as many people. I understand why people are so enraptured and fond of the system that we have, because it presents like it's equality. But land doesn't have a vote. People have a vote. Empty wilderness isn't represented. Voters are represented. And then Amy Coney Barrett, who has pledged to be just a jurist, just a non-partisan entity, making her rulings from the bench. She was sworn in on the south lawn of the White House in an absolutely unnecessary campaign rally that she took part in. They were, for the most part, masked, so it wasn't like when she was nominated 30 days ago or so, a super spreader event. Remember, that's when Donald Trump got infected, and senators and staffers, and so they did that right, but it was still unnecessary. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and not only are we in the middle of a pandemic, we are in the worst straits that we've been as a country, setting records day by day by day, surpassing the numbers of new infections that we were experiencing in July. And they decide to hold a campaign rally where they can get campaign footage. She posed. Here's the deal. This woman who purports herself to be someone who's going to be able to tell Donald Trump no and let the Constitution be her guide, couldn't say no to a campaign photo op on the South Portico, this balcony of the White House overlooking the South Lawn. Look how gleeful and proud of himself Donald Trump is. She allowed herself willfully, willingly, gleefully to be used as a campaign prop. Look at this slick little video that they put together. Real quickly, they put it together. Look, this is not the role. If you want to be an independent arbiter of justice and an interpreter of the Constitution and be above politics, if you want the court to have the notion, this patina of independence, then don't pose with Donald Trump, the fascist for campaign photos. She could have said no, and she didn't. This is what we have to look forward to with Amy Coney Barrett on the bench. What we're now witnessing with Brett Kavanaugh on the bench. And if you'd think that she's not a political tool, check yourself. Because Mitch McConnell went on Fox News and said as much. Watch this.
Voting for Biden.
Well, if you recall, we had a Supreme Court fight a month before the election in 2018, and we actually gained seats. I think this nominee will be a political asset for our candidates around the country. Not a liability, but an asset.
Now, you're going to be seeing a lot of people are going to be misquoting him and saying that he said she's a political asset. I think there is some notion to that, some truth to that that's what he believes. But what he's talking about here is that it's going to help Republican candidates get elected. And that is how she's a political asset to the Republican Party. She's not independent. She serves a purpose. She is either a willing or unwitting tool of the Republican Party and their political machinations. I believe witting. She has served her entire political life to that end. And let me read you this Matt O'Brien tweet, which really sums it up pretty nicely. Nothing says I will be an impartial judge in any election-related cases like showing up at a rally with one of the litigants. And that's where we are. She is now Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, sworn in by Clarence Thomas. And it only, if anything, if this has any effect or impact on you, it should strengthen your resolve to overwhelmingly crush Donald Trump at the polls in a week. And we're going to need an overwhelming show up at the polls. We got Wisconsin. They're not going to count certain ballots after Election Day, even if they were postmarked before. This is a nightmare scenario with a 6-3 court. And she's 48 years old. This is a lifetime appointment. So tell me again why we shouldn't make an argument, why we shouldn't expand the court to 11 or 13 or 15 members. We have a nation of 1/3 of a billion people, and we have 9 Supreme Court justices. No. The court should be expanded. Absolutely should be expanded. If not, just to recalibrate the anti-democratic nature with which it's been picked, then to bring some semblance of logic and reason to how many justices we have. take care of yourselves. Please. I know how I'm feeling. Excuse me. We have fires here in Orange County, and my house smells like a barbecue pit right now. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think, even if you disagree, especially if you disagree. 714-576-4054. Email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you. I listen to every voicemail. I read every email. I appreciate your feedback very much. It means a lot. And I think it does serve a purpose in giving you an outlet. Someone is on the other end listening. A lot of times it does inform what I talk about here on the show. I would appreciate you considering supporting my work here on YouTube. I am an independent, not necessarily a journalist, but a commentator, providing analysis of the news and the headlines, trying to synthesize complex topics for you. For fewer than $2 a month, you can become a channel member. There are other ways, though, to support my work and actually get something that's tangible in your hand. You can go to dollemore.info. It's my Teespring store. There's a bunch of shirts there, some Be Genuine and Take Care of One Another shirts, some Treason with the 45 in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. That is a direct way to support my work right here on YouTube, and I would appreciate it very much. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, social media. I appreciate you guys. Keep your heads up. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.